You've got a job to do, and we're here to make sure you get it done right. When you work with Ferguson HVAC, we'll make sure you get the equipment, parts, and supplies you need quickly. That way you can get in, get stocked, and get back to the work that really matters.
Wouldn't it be amazing if we could get a place of our own out here?
Well, maybe we can.
How's that?
The 5 million loan approval app from the Home Loan Expert makes it super easy to find out if you're approved for a home loan.
KHL 104.5 The Zone. We are on the air. Hope you're having a great Thursday. Brent Doherty, Don Davenport, Gatorade up. What up? Uh-oh.
Come on, Kirby.
Young lady, you were the over one adjusting these dials a second ago.
Kirby.
Instead of turning down the return, you turned down your mic.
I might have done that.
You might have done that.
Yep, I actually might have done that. Sorry, Curb. I'll let you off on this one. You should always double check when your talent, and yes, I put that in loose quotations here,
I was gonna say.
when your talent messes with levels. Why you let me mess with levels anyway?
Well, if I had any talent around me, I would check out.
I just teed you right up, Curbs.
Speaking of teeing you right up, speaking of talent, we've got Ron Slay. Hey, I'm in the building. Let's go.
Best believe I'm in the building. Better be ready.
Come on.
I'm
in the building. Ready on Ron, you're on the roof.
time for the show.
Yeah, it's a lot of eyes on us now.
My favorite.
And I want them all. Let's roll.
Everybody's looking at you.
Let's go. Yeah.
Very
I'll tell you this.
dude over here. We need Ron Slay over here.
All eyes earlier today on Mary J. Blige as she walked out on stage for the halftime press conference.
Yes, indeed.
With Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg. Where was Marshall Mathers? He wasn't here.
Eminem was missing, and so was Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah, K-Dot and Slim Shady. Maybe
guess
it
they
was
were
a battle
busy.
between K-Dot and Kendrick Lamar and Slim Shady and Eminem.
Yeah, the halftime press conference. We always hit that. So we were up there, and we were really close to the stage. You can see the pictures at 3HL 104.5. And the moderator started in on like how great everybody was, and then he stopped and said, "Wait a minute, I don't mean to blow smoke." And Snoop Dogg goes, "I do."
Yeah. And then he told him, "Yeah, you're right. I think I got a contact when I gave you a hug before."
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, Snoop is Snoop.
He's
gonna
tall,
Snoop everywhere
dude.
he go. Yeah, about
How
6'5".
old is he?
Snoop gotta be about 54. I'm gonna take a wild guess.
No, I think it's
Nah, ain't no
more
way.
than
Snoop
that.
ain't no 60. Snoop
50?
ain't no 60.
Oh, he's only 50.
Come on, man. I got you, man.
God, you
you
just
came to the
aged
right
it.
area, man. No.
Now, he
Wait, you're
did talk
taking
about
credit
his
for that?
grandkids.
Yes, I'm taking credit for that.
Yeah.
Carrots and credit. Age 50. Yeah, he'll be 51 in October.
See? 54, 51.
He's smiling the whole time.
Having a ball,
I
man.
love him.
Yeah, man.
I just love him. You know what? One of my favorite quotes, too. Well, first of all, Dr. Dre said that during rehearsals, he got chills watching and listening to Mary J. Blige's set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, that's saying a lot because Dr. Dre doesn't blow smoke up anybody.
He gives
you
the
know
chills.
that,
He
right?
don't get the chills. He
Yeah.
gives the chills.
So that got me. And then I thought it was funny. I think it was Snoop that said it. Right after that, he was like, "Yeah, she softened our edges,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
Which
like
is-
we're a little rough. She softened the edges."
It's definitely true, I would think. Yes. So that's going to be an epic thing.
It's going to be crazy.
For sure. 104.5 The Zone on the road. Radio Row in Los Angeles. Thanks to Ferguson HVAC, Two Rivers Ford, A Moment's Peace Salon and Day Spa, and USS, United Structural Systems. Tune in today, tomorrow, as we continue our shows, Buck Rising as well, our Radio Row coverage brought to you again by Ferguson HVAC. Quality products, exceptional service. Two Rivers Ford, powered by Ford, driven by people. A Moment's Peace Salon and Day Spa, Nashville's only full-service salon, day spa, and gift boutique located in Cool Springs and USS, United Structural Systems. With over 25 years of experience, homeowners trust USS. I'm going to go ahead and tell you, coming up in the next segment, we've got work to do in this segment, but coming up in the next segment, Adam Pac-Man Jones is scheduled to sit down right here at this table.
The Nation. Pac Nation.
Why are you calling the Nation?
Because, man, he covers the nation. Leave him over there on that little island alone. He covered the nation. You hear me? And you know what? I got a question for him. After being able to talk to a couple of people around here, cornerbacks and stuff like that, I got a question for Pac, man. I can't wait to ask on the air.
And what does it have to do? Does it have to do with ball or personal?
No, this has to do with ball.
Okay.
And I wanna tap into, because I think a lot of people that's close to him know how knowledgeable he is of the game.
About the game, yeah.
Yeah, and so I want to tap into him and try to figure out when he became that knowledgeable about the game, because I think he's a guy that gets noted for being able to make it on his talent a lot. You know, and I felt the same exact way all the way to at least, I think, maybe year 6. I was like, man, why they keep on giving him chances, man? He's talented, I understand that, but – and then I got to get around him and was like, oh, man, okay, I see what it is. I let him explain.
Like, he's not just talent. He's not just raw athletic talent.
Now that
puts in the work.
Yeah, that's a lot.
No, he's got that too.
Yeah,
No, but I think with him, a lot of people look at the big personality, the loud personality, the incidents in the past. People look at that kind of thing and think, oh, give me a break. Why does he keep getting chances? All of that. So that'll play into his answer with that. So that'll be interesting.
Yeah, we had him on in advance of the Titans-Bengals game while you were out, and he kind of pointed back and said, look, man, I became a man in Cincinnati. He said, I was a kid in Nashville. He was only here for 2 years.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because so when I got to Nashville, Pac-Man was already gone. So I missed the Pac-Man era. And now I heard plenty of stories of it.
There's stories.
Yeah, that's
from Fish and everything. But I was already gone. And then I remember when I first realized that he was only in Nashville for 2 years, and I was like, are you kidding me? Because the amount of stories that came out of those 2 years are unbelievable. I thought he was here way longer than that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Exactly right.
Well, we'll get with Pac-Man in just a minute. A couple of headlines out there. I want to get your take, Slay, on what we all watched last night with regard to Tennessee and Mississippi State. And it was kind of a streaky game early, and then it was kind of back and forth. And then Mississippi State had a 1-point lead with 4 minutes to go, and Tennessee kind of turned it on. And they get the dub with roster limitations. Kennedy Chandler went out with some kind of weird cramp thing above the knee, which is kind of strange, but able to come back in. What did you see from the Vols last night against Mississippi State as they have now won 6 consecutive conference games?
Man, the one thing that jumped out immediately was them establishing inside presence. With a guy like Huntley Hatfield coming off the bench, you automatically start to think as a opponent also, man, what are they going to do to fill those shoes? And, you don't want to get too cute, so you put a guy in and you say, hey, we're going to give him the ball. And he went to work for you. Another big thing that jumped off was they took care of the ball. Anytime you can go on the road and have less than 11 turnovers, you are going to be fine on anywhere you go. On any stage, it does not matter. Take care of the ball, and you're going to be good. So that's a maturation of Kennedy Chandler. Also Ziegler, who is, kind of fun with the ball, turn that thing over. So I think they did a terrific job. And then, when you talk about guys having to step up, man, Josiah Jordan-James. We were talking off air about how at this point, every single year is something that derails him from moving forward, whether it be an injury, whatever it is. This year he's been healthy. Knock on wood. He continues to stay that way. And I think you've seen the results of it.
Well, he's the old head that it looks like he understands.
Old young head.
Yeah, that he understands that, like, a lot of this needs to go through me.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I need to hit those open spaces at the three-point line for these penetrating point guards and be able to deliver that shot. And 17 the other day, 18 against Mississippi State, and maybe even more importantly, 38 minutes out of 40 minutes.
Yeah, so you can leave him on the floor, and without him being fatigued and not being efficient, when he gets fatigued, it's just the opposite. so you can rely on them.
The big trade in the NBA, there are a bunch of moves in the NBA, but the one we were all waiting on was Harden going to Philly.
And Babs loves this, man.
Which is what happened.
My eyes are currently stuck in the back of my head because they're rolling so deep at whatever the NBA is.
Are you bleeding out of your eyes like Kirby was talking about yesterday?
Yes.
So Harden to Philly.
What did I say, Slay? I'm sorry. Go ahead and say the trade.
Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, Andre Drummond to the Nets.
Yeah. I said, what's the deal with Harden? Is he not considered like a cancer in the locker room? Because now this is what? Consecutive stops that he demands a trade, but he didn't officially demand a trade this time because he didn't want people to judge him.
Yeah.
Okay, you're basically officially demanding a trade. Give me a break.
Yeah,
I just can't.
Listen, man, that's the difference. See, what we're here covering now, this big game on Sunday, and you talk about behind the shield, this still isn't a player-driven league in a sense. The NBA is totally different than that. And so
totally different.
So
the players are in charge.
Yeah, two opposite ends of the spectrum, and I think you get to see that, and the players get to pull that. Yeah, Babsy.
I'm sorry.
I told y'all she loved it. I told you. But I think it's gonna be fun, man. After this All-Star break, going on into the playoffs, and see exactly what can happen. Because not only is that trade happening, but you got a guy like James Harden teaming up with who arguably is the NBA MVP at this moment in Joel Embiid. So that's going to be interesting to see what happens.
We'll try to hit on this other headline that came down today, DH to the National League. National League will have the DH. We'll offer some perspective on that a little bit later. When we come back, our conversation with Pac-Man Jones. He is scheduled to come by the table. I'm looking around now. At Real Pac-Man 24 if you want to give him a follow. Former Titans and Bengals cornerback. He's chilled out a lot. We'll visit with him next. 3HL 1045 The Zone. in L.A. Went to the Jay Glazer party last night. That was something. I mean, that's my report on it. There was a $25,000 bong they were trying to sell.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
There were all kinds of silent auction items that were really cool. They had a Pat Tillman, military type jersey, and on the bottom right corner within the frame, were video highlights of Pat Tillman's career. And so they start showing practice things where he got in a fight with somebody, and then they had Coach Mack talking about him.
Hey.
Right there in the frame.
The Coach Midak. Coach Midak everywhere, man.
They had Shaq shoes that were size 23.
That was high, too, man.
I don't know how he got off the ground.
Man, let me tell you what I did last night, man. I went to the little comedy show, you know. Mike Epps' comedy show was really good at the Chinese Theater, man. Had a good time doing that. Nice little crowd in there, man, you know. So it was good. It was good. I enjoyed my time. Nice drinks, you know. It was an intimate setting, you know. That was real cool. So you looked up, man, there was a lot of people there, too. So as far as the VIP section.
Was somebody unexpected trying to launch a comedy career?
Yeah, man, T.I., man. T.I. was up there, man. So T.I. said he been working on comedy for about 3 weeks, man. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, we rolled with it. And you know what? He had about a 15-minute set. He was solid. I give him out of 10. I give him 5.5.
Could you do better?
Jeez, that's harsh.
Could Pac-Man Jones do better?
Man, Pac quit school because of recess. That man ain't playing no games, man. My boy don't play no games, man.
Up,
Mason!
How are you, man?
What's up? What's going on,
baby?
Man, you've been rolling around here since early this morning, man.
Yeah, man. Around here making it do what it do, man. You know?
Yeah. So how are things? We talked with you a couple weeks ago, and
you called it.
You called it.
I told y'all.
Listen, Titans fans are still upset about that game.
I think somebody owed me a dinner or something.
Ain't that something?
Something.
You said in Nashville, so this don't even count out here, these high stakes out here. We're going to Tennessee. Them high stakes down there, too, but we're going to Tennessee.
Well, I thought it was interesting because what you said prior to the game was if the Bengals could get a lead and get the Titans feeling like they have to throw the football, Tannehill will throw some to you, right?
Yes,
and that's what happened.
He did exactly. My exact words was slow down the run and make Tannehill have to beat us with his arm, which we know he could not do. And he showed us what he would do up under distress and pressure, and he gave us a couple. So it worked out good for us. But that was a really good game. I think we controlled the game up front, you know, and the kicker, man, like this kid McPherson, he's averaging 4 field goals a game, which is 12 points.
Yeah.
So basically you telling me he's going to score a touchdown a game. So that's big for special teams. Anytime you can win a special team battle like that, you should win the game. And these guys are playing really good offense and defense and putting together on the special team wise, and that's why they're coming up with these numbers and games the way they're playing.
You're a guy that knows about swagger, right?
Yeah,
and he's like, yeah. And Joe Burrow obviously has it. You mentioned the kicker. He obviously has it. You know, before he walks out there, he's like, oh, well, we're going to the championship game. You know, like, what is it about this team and the swagger and the confidence that they kind of exude? Is it the youth? What is it?
It is the youth. It's the youth, and they know they're good now. You know what I mean? When Joe got hurt last year, I think the whole momentum and the atmosphere from the front end to the bottom was scared dear life. But when you have a leader that plays with his seat without riding with the seatbelt, excuse my English, like when you got a guy that's playing fast speed without a seatbelt and basically can control the narrative of where the car goes. It's dangerous, and with that being said, you got a lot of the young guys that's done bought into the system, and that's done bought into the swagger that he's proposing toward them. And once it trickled down, man, it's so funny how your highest limit you don't even know until someone else brings it out of you.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So I was one of those guys that would try to get everybody to play hard as they possibly can, and you can tell Joe does that with the guys over there. And they have a lot of talent over there. They have a lot of first-round guys. Like, I will say the Bengals does a great job of, I said it last time, of drafting kickers. And this kid, McPherson, oh my God, if he got to be the MVP of the postseason. You know,
he's Matt Good. That's what he is.
Hey, before we get too far into this matchup, I want to go back to this bet. So did the bet happen before the game?
Oh yeah, it was before the game.
Okay, man. Listen, let me explain.
He owed me a steakhouse dinner to Jeff Ruby's. I can tell y'all exactly what the bet was.
Were there any text messages or phone calls after that first pick pack?
Yes, it was.
See, that's the problem, man. He caught me at a vulnerable state, man. At that time, my emotions was running high. Then I see my dog on the line. I can't back down. I'm a competitor. He a competitor. So, you know what I mean? It is what it is, man. But he did call it, man. And I want to that point, man, you talked about the defense, Pack, you know what I mean, and said how good they were. Like they were getting overseen, you know what I mean, overlooked. You know, everybody was talking about Joe Burrow and the offense, but you pointed out the defense, and that's what hurt them. You know what I'm saying? That defense, Cincinnati D came to play and made the stops that they needed to make when they needed to make them. So I was also talking about earlier, we had a Hall of Fame corner on, and he was talking about his maturation over the game.
Mike Haynes.
Over the years. Mike Haynes.
Yeah.
Talking about his game. And I was telling him, like, you are a guy that was super talented. And before I even got an opportunity to meet you and lock in with you, I was wondering, like, through one of our reps, you know, one of good friends, I was like, hey, man, how does Pat keep getting these chances over and over, man? Like, I know he's talented and he's cold, but he was like, man, that man do the work too. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to watch. So I got to see him hoop. You know, I saw that part of him. Still working, you know what I'm saying, and being competitive. But then got to see you doing film study, you know what I mean, taking your craft serious. Like, what part in your career did that switch? Or has it always been like that, with you being knowledgeable of the game also with your athletic ability?
Man, I've always been like that. That's why if you meet any guy that coached me I'm talking about from Little League all the way to my last coach, which was Marvin Lewis, they'll never tell you nothing bad about me as far as work ethic, the way I prepare myself, how much I love the game. Only thing they would say is the only problem we got with him is when he leave here. That's why I got the chances that I got, because yes, was I talented? Yes, I was very talented. Talent only can get you so far.
Right.
But I was always dialed in to trying to get better at my craft. You know what I mean? So, yeah, you might see me out on Thursday, but, shit, I had just got through watching film all day, you know what I mean? Or I'm back in the gym at 5:30 in the gym, and I just left the club at 3:30.
And hold on, let me stop you right there. And he ain't lying.
Yeah.
He ain't lying. I'm with him. Like, I'm telling you, like, when I had to go back overseas, I said to myself, because I watched him.
Yeah.
Like, and this was amazing to me. Like, and then while we betting and playing pool and everything, like, not only may it be a couple dollars, but we betting for sit-ups and push-ups. Like, I'm like, man, this man think he Rocky or something, man. So when I go back overseas, I'm like, dude, I go out a little bit. I still got to get up. You know what I mean? We might come in at 3.
Yeah.
Like
This man up before everybody at 6.
Till this
5,
day,
6, getting up.
I still do that. You know, I got I adopted my best friend kids, which is Chris Henry, and they're dogs, man. I'm talking about 8th and 7th grade, dunking the ball. They were very good at football. So I have to stay up on my P's and Q's because they can't beat me yet. So, you know what I mean? I'm always competing with them, so I'm like, God damn, I got to do something.
This man messed up, man.
You mentioned that lifestyle away from football. Were you ever cognizant of or concerned that part of what you were doing might derail the other part of what you were trying to do?
Well, are you asking me that when I'm leaving the stadium? What are you
just the lifestyle away from football.
What's the question?
Well, I think that people have a certain view of you that is different than what Slay has or what I have or whoever, because they see the headlines and all that stuff back in the day. Were you ever worried about that derailing what you were trying to do on the football field?
No, because one thing about the NFL is it's a close circle. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I'm going to take this for instance. If I know you was the best in the world at what you're doing and you giving me 100% of what you're doing when you come to work, I probably can tolerate a little bit of bullshit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you can get more opportunities like
Dump
that.
up.
But you at some point, you know,
Full stuff, Nation.
it's certain. Oh, my fault.
Yeah.
He's got it back there, man.
At a certain point, you know, your hands get tied up with it.
Right.
And I understood that, but
Yeah.
I just truly felt like I would get the last laugh, you know, and I did. So I ended on my own time. I got suspended, came back, went to Dallas, broke my neck. Didn't nobody know that I even had a broken neck. They was like, why is Dallas releasing you? And really the reason they was releasing me because I wasn't healthy. So then I go to Cincinnati, knowing that my neck is messed up, still go out, do everything, put me on the 53. Then I bring up my neck, so I'm back out, you know. And then I play 8 years later, when everybody thought the story would have ended 2 years after Tennessee. So I always look at it like, yeah, I did what I wanted to do, you know what I mean, as far as NFL football wise. And my whole goal was I wanted to stop on my own turn, you know what I mean. I missed a lot of my prime because being a knucklehead, you know what I mean, living the way I wanted to live, and you know what I mean, which I have a couple regrets, but like that's what made me who I am today. So I wouldn't change too much of it. I'm not in for violence or no shit like nothing like that. So, but I'm just saying the trials and tribulations that I went through to be here. You know what I mean? To have a 14-year career. You know what I mean?
That's amazing, man.
It was pretty good.
I mean, you went in the league in 2005 and to 18.
Yeah.
I mean, and I the reason why I asked that, and I'm glad you opened up about that, because we talk about it all the time. You never know what somebody's going through that's listening to your story.
Yeah.
And you really seem like, based on our conversation, like I've only been around you a couple times lately, but based on our conversation with you a couple weeks ago and seeing you here, you seem like you're in a really good place.
Yeah, because I look at things like the other day I was watching the news and what something had happened. Oh no, it wasn't the news. I was scrolling down my phone.
Which is the news now, too.
Yeah, looking on Instagram. And I ran across a friend of mine named Burner. Burner owned Cookies out here, which is the weed store. And I went through his page and because I knew he was going through the cancer thing. And I sat there and watched that, you know what I mean? And I'm sitting here in my thinking in my head, like, how can I complain or worry about someone is going through so much more, you know what I mean? But that's how I approach the days when I wake up, you know what I mean? Like, hey man, let's figure out how I can get the best out of the day and not worry about and stop complaining about the little things, you know what I mean? Because life is really too small to just be complaining about the little things. So I try to enjoy my kids and build what we got, you know what I mean, and show them, hey, look, everything ain't gonna be peaches and cream. And if anybody telling you that ain't the real life. Everybody gonna go through something.
That's right.
And it's all about how will you come back when you hit rock bottom? Because at the end of the day, the strong ones, they hit rock bottom and find a way to build 20 more things up a little bit different. You know what I mean? Might have took me a little while, but you're going to go through trials and tribulations. So
everybody's on their own journey, right?
And with my kids, they understand that, you know what I mean? And I have to explain it to them a little bit more now. They be like, Dad, and then why you did that? Don't worry about it, bro. Don't you do it. Like, this is not for you, bro. You're a hustable baby, bro.
And live with that.
Yeah, man. You're a hustable baby. You ain't got to worry about that.
Because your life is a very public life, right?
Yeah, my life is very public. You don't have to worry about that.
But and there's the internet nowadays, too.
Yeah,
so, like, you can find everything. Yeah.
Yeah. You can Google everything, too, now.
That's it, too, Nation. You're looking at it, man. What a lot of people don't get to see, man, and I'm speaking on it from a guy that was on the outside looking in and then happened to get on the inside, the authenticity of you, man. Authentic, genuine love that you got for people, especially the people in your circle.
Yeah.
And then it's a testament to them, too, man. I see my girl over there, Tish, man. Salute to Tish. But it's the foundation that you got around you, dude. You know what I mean? That's what it's about, being able to bounce down and bounce back up off of it. You know, that's it. And don't use it as a crutch.
Yeah.
So I salute you, my brother.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's get another bet going. You going Rams?
Listen,
can we get him to get you another one there,
I
Pat?
picked the Rams. I bet on the Rams before the season started for the NFC.
There you go.
So I mean, I already got my
know
bet
who
down
I'm
now.
going with.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Boom! Put it on the line.
It's a bet.
Put it on the line, Mason. Put it on the line. We got double stakes.
It's a double stake.
Adam Pac-Man Jones. Hey, man. Great seeing you, man. Thanks for the conversation, brother. Appreciate you, man.
No problem, man. Thanks for having me. Y'all can catch me and Solomon on Believing in the Business.
Yes.
Solomon Wilcox and Pac-Man Jones is on all platforms.
You enjoying that?
Yeah, I'm enjoying it, man. And we got a lot of other things that we're doing in the background.
Yeah.
That we're gonna be on, not just bingo talk, but everyday life things and stuff like that too. So,
hey man, let me ask you this, man. Before you go, you gonna let the little fella live, man? The little DB up there in Washington.
Oh no!
You gonna keep your foot on his neck?
Keep my foot on his neck. Did you know? Did you send the end of his stacks this year?
No. So we
He
talking
was
about
PFF worst cornerback, Will Jackson.
Will Jackson,
the third.
Will Jackson. The Pac been on his head all year.
The third.
And he ain't let him down yet.
I think he gave up 5,000 yards this year.
All right, check Pac-Man out with Solomon Wilcox and Believe Podcast Network. Rate, review, subscribe. Thanks for keeping our producer busy, man.
Yeah, no problem.
All love, baby.
All right, there's Pac-Man Jones, 3HL 104.5 The Zone.
And that's our guy, man. That's our guy, man. That's what we want to do, shine a different light, man. Because you always read about the news articles and you let that portray a person until you can peel back a layer like an onion, man, and find out exactly who that person is and why maybe they may go through the things they go through.
You think Hunt got all the words he needed?
Yeah.
Well, Slay was like, "Hey."
Yeah,
like,
see,
Pac-Man was if you're not watching on
what
Show
did you
TV,
say to him?
I said, "Come on, nation."
Yeah, but every time he did it, he would be like, "Oh man."
Like you know, like. But I'm gonna tell you this too, though. Like what that shows too is a level of comfort also.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because he actually feel like we just sitting here talking,
chatting.
Yep. So yeah, that's good, man. That was good.
So that was something. If you missed that one, you want to go back and hear it.
Yeah, you should.
On the podcast section of the webpage, 1045thezone.com is where you will find that. We've got a couple of guys sitting down that you're going to want to hear from. Robert Gallery, former NFL player, and Marcus Capone, SEAL Team 6 guy. As you show your bicep. I will
what did I say? I was like, those guys are jacked. Look at them.
I know. What's up, boys? How are y'all?
We're good. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Fun to be here in Radio Row, and Super Bowl should be fun. So
yeah.
So at what point, Marcus, did you say to yourself, "Hey, man, I want to be in SEAL Team 6. Like I want to be that guy."
When I found out I couldn't play in the NFL, of course.
Is that what it was?
You know, I'd tell everybody I was a shitty college quarterback, but a pretty good soldier. No, I had I grew up with a ball in my hand, and I didn't see myself stepping off from college into a suit and tie and trying to figure it out. And so I wanted to do something different, bigger than myself. And I saw a movie on TV. I started reading some books, and it got me excited. And when they started talking about the best of the best, I was hooked. And so the more I read, the more intrigued I got. And a lot happened that year. I graduated SIU. I had our first child. I got married, and I stepped into the military. So
that's unbelievable.
Yeah,
that's a lot of
happily married. 25 years later, two children, both out of the house. One's a freshman at San Diego State, so all is good. Yeah.
A lot of life change at once.
All of it.
Might as well.
Knock them all out.
Were there any points along the way where you thought, "What am I doing?"
I'm still trying to figure. I ask the same question every day. What am I doing? I'm speaking about mental health care and I think every person I spoke to thought I was crazy. My parents thought I was crazy. They were both, hippies that went to Woodstock, and they just had, when I told them I was going in the military to be a SEAL, they had no idea. But I loved every minute of it. I got everything I asked for and more. I went in prior to 9/11, and I was in third phase of SEAL training when the towers came down. So as you can imagine, it was a bit busy from that point on for the next 20 years.
That's amazing.
Mic drop, or I don't know. Everybody was silent. I don't know.
So sometimes that'll do it.
Well, with SEAL Team guys, I'm always wary, like in terms of what to ask and how
you can
much.
You can ask whatever you want. I'm just not going to talk about any tactics.
Right. So, like, I mean, I don't even understand that life. Like, you get a call in the night and then you're gone for.
Yeah. I mean, we were yes, that can happen, absolutely. But we also were deployed. So I was deployed, multiple times to both Iraq and Afghanistan. And what you do is you train up with your unit, and you go overseas as a unit, and you sit in this cushy thing that you try to build and put together. And then every night you sleep. You sleep and you're up on opposite times. So you sleep during the day, and you wake up around 4 or 5 p.m. and you kind of get the intel reports and say, okay, who are we going after tonight? And that's kind of how it is for the next 10 or 15 or 20 years.
I mean, we woke up, stayed in bed for an extra hour, thought about, like, when's our first interview? 9 o'clock?
I talk about it like it's normal, but
you do, I know.
I told my wife, I'm like, Amber, you met me in college. You already knew that there was something wrong with me, and I said, you're still trying to figure this out. I was like, I'm just the same person. I'm tuned a little bit differently than most.
So. Robert Gallery with us as well, number 2 overall pick. You miss football at all?
I do. There's certain aspects of it. The camaraderie, the teamwork, the going in, the mission per se, quote unquote. So that part of it I do. It's hard. You don't find that being a dad and going to soccer games and hanging out with the kids' friends' parents because they don't understand how we think, right? I'm like Marcus, I'm still all in. It's full bore, no matter what we do. So if it's, you don't do anything, halfway, and that's not always great in your life. I learned that in certain aspects of my health, because it's not one drink, it's 50 drinks.
Yeah.
So I definitely miss football. There's things about just going out and trying to be the best, but now I'm trying to be the best dad. I'm trying to be the best husband. But it's definitely something you miss, and to be around a guy like Marcus, it's we get fired up, right? Because we're both kind of has-beens a little bit from what we used to be, but it's great to get around a guy that understands when I say something. People look at you weird. You're like, calm down, dude. You're so intense. I'm like, no, we're gonna go surf, but we're gonna go hit. It's everything is so. It's I love the game of football.
So when does how do you get to scratch that itch? Missing that team, regardless if it's football, whether it's being in the SEALs, whether it's you going out play a pickup game, like. How do you scratch that itch and also be able to counter that with being a dad?
I think you find the things that you enjoy. There's when I was playing, I loved lifting weights. Like I was that guy in the weight room with 600 pounds on my back squatting because that was part of the training I loved. And I know that's not healthy for me now. So now there's other things. I've become friends with other ex-pros in whatever realm, mountain biking. I dig into something that's healthy for me.
Right.
Whether it's wake surfing behind the boat. We live in Lake Tahoe, so we wake surf behind it. We have a wake surf boat. So there's things that you do, and my wife understands it. My wife was a college athlete. She played basketball at the University of Iowa, where I went to school. So she gets it. So she doesn't look at me like I'm crazy when I need to go out and grind out a mountain bike ride that most people are like, what's fun about that? Like climbing 2,000 vertical feet to where almost have a heart attack, And so I think you find those things. And for me, honestly, too, it's where we live, and that's part of the reason we moved in the mountains is because I can take my kids out on the ski hill. And that's joy for me, doing stuff with them and seeing them and teaching them like how we think as ex-athletes.
Right. So, for both of you, I former athlete, able to transition into radio, and they don't know this, but they're my crutch as my therapy. I get to do this a lot and talk every day.
It is,
so
honestly.
if anything's bothering me, somehow I can work it in here, bounce it off one of them, and feed it back into society, however it goes back. But how often do you guys have to have conversations and have somebody to have an ear to listen, and they understand what you're talking about? Like you said, like you need somebody to talk to. What if he's not the one that's there that you can bounce it off of?
I think for me personally, you find those people, right? You find those things. And for me, going through the ups and downs I had after my playing career and the issues with my brain and the journey that took me on to meet Marcus, now for me, talking about mental health and talking about the psychedelic assisted therapy I went through because of Marcus, like here talking to people about it, that's therapy for me. I have those few handfuls of people in my life that if something's going on, I didn't know I can go talk to them because they're not going to judge me. He's not the guy next door who doesn't understand it. All they see is, oh, you're an ex-NFL player. You made all this money and your life is perfect, And I don't want anyone to feel sorry for him, but we all, everyone, I don't care what you come from, SEALs, football, or a businessman, or the lady working at the grocery store, we all have issues, right? And it's, I'm not looking to be felt sorry for, because like I said, I would do it all over again. I would do everything over again that I did. Right. But there is something about taking care of yourself and then helping someone. I saw what Marcus did for me. I called him out of the blue from his website, from a podcast I heard him on about what he was doing with veterans, with the psychedelic assisted therapy. And if I can do that for one person in the NFL, one guy that hears my story and would reach out for help or another option of something he needs, like that's the therapy for me.
Robert Gallery, Marcus Capone. Marcus, you get messages like that from people a lot?
A lot.
Reaching out?
A ton. And the more we're talking about it, the more we're open about it, the more we're getting. And I've actually had to move off social media just because of it's difficult for me to hear a lot of the stories because there's so many, and we're growing, but there's just so many resources, and a lot of the stuff that we're doing, which is really psychedelic assisted therapy, but really we're just trying to provide a better quality of life. That's just like a tool.
Like a foundational piece.
It's a foundational piece that I think we think you really need, because we're finding it's working far superior than anything else out there for mental health. But individuals have to go outside the U.S. at the moment. So what we're working on now is more research and advocacy work. So we're doing a ton of legislative work, both state and federal, to get access to these right here in the U.S. so individuals don't have to go out. But, building tribe and community and, like this is your medicine. And, we're trying to build partnerships with a lot of different organizations that, are just, bringing individuals together. And hopefully we can do this stuff when we're active. So when the guys and girls are on active duty, or individuals that are still playing football, if they could start implementing some of these like good, healthy lifestyle habits prior to, their brain all of a sudden says, hey, I don't want to work correctly anymore. Now you need to fix me.
Yeah.
Let's start to figure that out too. So,
Robert, how much weight have you lost since you were a player?
I'm down about 70 pounds. I was
70.
320 to 330 when I played, and I'm about 260 now. So, yeah, it was one of those I got done. I don't need to be this big. I got down to 300. I still felt terrible.
Yeah.
And you see, now I lift up a 25-pound dumbbell or a bell, weights, and I'm like, I carried 3 of these around. It's just so unhealthy. And luckily, when I played, I had to work to keep the weight on. I had to put the calories in. But it's all how you feel. And now I'm obsessed with feeling better. I'm getting my brain better. I want my body to feel good. I do a ton of stuff every day. It's not a simple fix. Any of this, the brain, the body. It's every day. I mean, I spend 3-4 hours a day doing therapies to feel good, but it's I want to feel good. I want to be around for my kids and be able to walk around and look good, and not only feel good but look good.
Former Raider Robert Gallery, Marcus Capone, SEAL Team 6 guys. Hey, thanks for the time, guys. On the way out, is there a place people can go to get more information about what you guys are doing?
Yeah, so we co-founded Vets, my wife and I, 4 years ago. We have about 20 people now working there. We have funded over 450 combat veterans to go outside the U.S. to do this. I know it's getting really busy, and that's why, like I said, guys like Robert, there's a lot more. We need to help a lot more. Visit vetsolutions.org. Okay. You can learn about what we're doing in this new mission, and it's becoming kind of a global nonprofit. We're starting to work with other countries because we're not the only country that. I mean, there's a lot of suffering going on out there, especially the mental health stuff, and so where we can step in, we'd like to.
Appreciate you guys.
Yep. Thank you so much.
Great
Thanks,
message.
guys.
Congrats on everything, and good luck.
Yep. Thank
Thanks.
you.
All right, Marcus Capone, Robert Gallery. When we come back, Bob Golick, national title winner at Notre Dame, 14-year NFL vet, and Saved by the Bell, the college years. I mean, this is a diverse guy.
That's a pull right there.
That is a pull. All right, we'll be right back. 3HL 104.5 The Zone.
You've got a job to do, and we're here to make sure you get it done right. When you work with Ferguson HVAC, we'll make sure you get the equipment, parts, and supplies you need quickly. That way you can get in, get stocked, and get back to the work that really matters.
Mortgage interest rates are in the 2s, and we are saving our clients hundreds, even thousands of dollars a month with a simple refinance. Let us assist you with an easy refinance today at thehomeloanexpert.com.
3HL 1045 The Zone. Appreciate you tuning in. Brent Doherty, Don Davenport, Ron Slay, broadcasting live from Radio Row in Los Angeles. Having a fun time. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast. We've got a couple of guys sitting at the table now. Bob Golick. Bob, what's up? How are you, man?
I've got my game face on. Does it? Oh God, I can't keep it. Maintaining has been my problem.
Is that the problem?
My game face.
Yeah.
My game face only.
Stamina?
Yeah. It's just I start cramping up, and next thing I know, I'm sitting on my chair with my head down, going. My game face has never done this before.
Well, you had a game face when you won a national championship at Notre
That's
Dame.
right.
You had a game face for 14 years in the NFL.
That's right.
You had a game face when you went to Hollywood and ended up on Saved by the Bell. How did that happen?
You auditioned, right?
I actually, I had an audition. Actually, because I spoke a lot at interviews after games and stuff, people are always looking to talk to somebody, and a lot of guys wouldn't talk, especially in losses. And so I was the one that just that always talked, and then finally a guy came up and said, "Hey, I hear you on interviews all the time.
Yeah.
We want you to try this show." And I went on a show called Home and Family, and then I went on a show called Good Advice with Shelley Long and Treat Williams, which got canceled the episode after I got there. I did an episode.
You didn't have your game face.
No, I didn't have my game face. I did an episode of Coach, which won some awards.
Yeah.
And the bigger they are. And then I auditioned for, I was actually auditioning for Saved by the Bell, the college years, and Robin Hood Men in Tights at the same time.
Oh, I love that.
And so I know. It could have been me in spandex. It could have been.
The world needed that to happen.
The world doesn't want to picture it. But a buddy of mine who I met along the way, who always auditioned for the same stuff I did, and he was up for Saved by the Bell. He got Robin Hood. I got Saved by the Bell. He got a movie. I got a series. So I think I won.
You got more work.
In terms of football and acting, how different are the disciplines?
Oh my God! Seriously?
Yeah.
You can't figure that out by yourself?
No. That's why I tell jokes on the radio for a living.
There is no discipline. When I did Saved by the Bell, on Mondays we would go in for about 2 hours, and they'd give us a script, and we'd sit there and read through it at a table. Tuesday we'd go in for about 4 hours and maybe get up and get on the stage a little bit. Wednesday we would do the same for a little bit longer, and we'd have to have breaks because it was lunchtime and all this. Thursday they had to measure all the camera angles, so we'd be there like 12 hours, but we had stand-ins. And so we'd go out there, and then they would look at us, and they would memorize where we were, and then we went back to our dressing rooms and watched TV and played video games. Dustin Diamond always wanted to play video games with me, and I would be really quiet, like I'm not home.
Hey, do you get to keep your stand-in? Like, is it like
no? You have to give them back.
You have to give them back.
You have to give them back.
Don't get to roll with you nowhere.
That's right.
Did your stand-in look like you?
No, not even close.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they changed quite a bit, but.
When did you tape the whole thing?
Friday we did. We taped it once at about noon, 1 o'clock. Just by ourselves with no audience, and then we taped it again at night with an audience. And so, we had clapping and laughter, and if we didn't, they put it in afterwards. God, Golick's funny. Listen to the way they're laughing. More, volume up.
We do the same thing. You don't hear it right now, but the people listening to the radio, same thing.
Long story short, it was about the easiest thing I've ever done.
That's amazing.
And I played a guy that was an ex-NFL player. So it wasn't like I was. Yeah, I know. It wasn't like I was a big reach.
Bob Golick with us. You got his buddy BJ Gannon with us as well. And BJ, you guys are up to some awesome stuff for veterans with regard to vets getting access to dog training, and you call them life buddies.
That's right. I mean, we're trying to solve the problem, right? I think we all hear about veteran issues, and that we all are kind of aware that something needs to happen. As a veteran myself, being blown up in Iraq, losing a leg, and doing some amazing things since then, and working with a lot of vets to come to this, and we're still figuring out. We don't have it figured out, but what we do feel is I think this country has provided us the resources we need to actually solve our problems. We need to reorganize them in a way that works better, right? And the VA is great, but, I mean, what's your favorite government program that you're in, right? None of us want to be in a government program, right?
Yeah.
I know I'm missing a leg, but in my mind, the only thing I can't do in this prosthetic foot is grow toenails. Like, otherwise, that's it. I mean, yeah, I got to take a little extra time to put it on in the morning, but I figure it out. And everybody's got aches and pains, right? We've all got our battles to get over with. And what bothers me is that in order to get help in this country, you've got to be and not even if you're just a vet, if you're anybody, you got to have some sort of extraordinary circumstances to actually break down and ask for help, when giving help is probably the most helpful thing you can do. Wow. So Sierra Delta,
don't wait until people are destitute.
Let's do some preventive help. How about some preventive medicine help?
Yeah.
And so Sierra Delta is that. It's a strength-based wellness program for veterans right now. So it's an app that's completely locked. You have to be verified by ID Me to be able to get into it. It teaches you how to enhance the relationship with your existing dog or help you find a dog that we can then help you train with professional trainers and with a lot of virtual tools to help you do the job. I mean, the American citizens have already invested billions of dollars into men and women like me to make us leaders, to make us trainers, to make us learners, to help us understand how to improvise, adapt, and overcome. And I know we feel like aliens when we come back to this country after serving, and especially how we're acting these past few years, and maybe even longer. But we've got to figure out a way, and we got to get re-engaged because I think our communities need us. And so Sierra Delta wanted to gamify the process of working with the dog to better that relationship, but also give them other targets outside of themselves to hit that is more manageable. So they can get points for walking their dog. They can get points for volunteering at animal welfare. It doesn't matter. They can get gear, free gear, discounts, or they can earn a spot on the Stars and Stripes flag football team, which we just played on Tuesday, right?
I'm still sore.
We just played.
That
indicates that you played,
from
Bob.
standing there.
Well, I didn't stand still the whole time. I moved a lot. But
Now, what really happened, Bob?
Right.
Come on.
Okay.
So we're
I
reorganizing.
went and got hot dogs for everybody.
That's right.
Hey, that's important too.
Yeah.
So we want to take these and make it a part of the program, make it a part of getting better.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing, and we need help.
And you know what? I've talked to a lot of these guys about it, and one of the things that I heard was you come back and you feel lonely. And the idea of that, and I thought, and I was thinking too, since we were talking and I heard that earlier, I started thinking, well, you know, that was what I felt when I retired. Mm-hmm. You know, the first time training camp started.
Yeah.
And you weren't there, and you're watching it on the news. It was heart-rending.
Yeah, empty feeling right there.
Right. It was a horrible feeling. But, and again, I hate to do this, and I say this to BJ all the time. I hate to compare it to what you guys feel coming back and the camaraderie and missing all that. But you know, everybody, like you said, everybody has their
that's the
has
definition
their cross
of empathy,
to bear.
right? Trying to imagine what the other person is. This is what I want people to understand. We're not a group of people you need to put on a pedestal. Like, it seems like everybody's either afraid of us or pities us. And we're neither. We want
I'm
to
afraid
be
of you. I've been with you long enough to.
I'm the most harmless person in this room.
I'm proud of you, is what I am.
Right, but I mean, we've got to figure this out, and we are all more alike than we are different.
Right.
So let's just change the process so that we can get there better. All these problems we have, I mean, I know they stem from a lot of stuff, but I mean, they're all between our ears, and we just need to change the way we think. And so the reason I chose dogs is because 70% of Americans' households have a dog in it. We kill 800,000 large breed, healthy, trainable, and adoptable dogs every year. And what do you think? What do you think most veterans want? They want a large breed dog, and they just need a life buddy. We don't need these medical assistant service dogs. Some of us do, but it's about 0.5%. And again, if we can get more veterans involved, this is why this is a wellness program. Right? And I want to expand it out. It could be Sierra Delta kids. It could be Sierra Delta nurses, Sierra Delta doctors. I'm focused on vets right now because we got to start somewhere. And I think we can bring people together around this and just figure out something that's reasonable and sustainable and move forward.
And I may be talking out of school, but I think that it will never be Sierra Kitty.
No.
Yeah, probably not.
Am I wrong? No.
No, I mean villains have cats. No,
Yeah. SierraDelta.com. SierraDelta.com. We got the 101st right there with us, and so that's a great message. I love what you said. We're more alike than we are different, and that could be said about everything this country's
That's right.
going
And
through
we don't
right
need to elect anybody to solve our own problems. Let's just solve the problems and start having fun.
There you go.
Damn right. All right. Appreciate you guys. Good to see you.
Thank you guys. Appreciate
All
you.
right, BJ Gannon. Again, SierraDelta.com. Get more information there. And Bob Golick, the great Bob Golick. We'll be right back. 3HL 1045 The Zone.
Mortgage interest rates are in the twos, and we are saving our clients hundreds, even thousands of dollars a month with a simple refinance. Let us assist you with an easy refinance today at thehomeloanexpert.com.
Ron Slay. You know what we didn't do this hour?
What's
we didn't
that?
welcome in Ronald Sylvester Slay the proper way.
Well, put me in the building.
That we should have.
Hey, I'm in the building.
There
Best
he is.
believe I'm in the building. Better be ready. I'm in the building.
Ready on the roll, I got no room.
I'm for the show.
Right. Radio roll. I'm now ruthless.
You just scared the hell out of the woman in the Old Spice.
Yeah. She better be aware. She better put some Old Spice on.
By the way, there's also like right behind us. I know your desire to take naps every day. There's a sleep number bed just sitting right over there.
I'm telling you right now, I would give them $15 for 30 minutes on that sleep number bed. That bed, hey man. I'm just saying, man. My boy Savagery, let me try it out.
Really? They get a discount, don't they?
Yeah.
They're like a
I don't know if we
partner with
supposed to say
NFL.
that. Yeah, but yeah.
What? How is it that different?
What?
How is a?
Oh man, because hey,
look how excited
it adjusts. Like it messed me up. It adjusts to your body. It'll raise you up when you need to be raised up. Like, and then it'll cool. Like, it'll heat up.
Oh, that's
on its own. Like, it got sensors on.
Y'all know
Man.
I'd be like 100 degrees the entire time.
You'll be in there baked.
Yeah.
See, I love my
Somebody flip Babs over. She's baking.
I'm in the hotel room by myself, so man, it's cold up in that place.
I like it like that.
Me too.
Yeah. Dude, I walk past Babs' room, you can feel the heat coming from up under
there's
the
like a
door.
warm red glow coming from under the door.
Something when he walked by, he was like, "Damn, Babs, why is your room so hot?"
Yeah, man, what the heck is going on?
Babs is going to be unbelievable when she's 70. You know what?
It's just right. That's like, no, it's not.
Can you imagine Don Davenport when she's 70 years old?
So she's going to have a house coat on and all kind of stuff.
Just
with the heat on high.
screaming curse words at people.
On
Get
the
off
porch.
my lawn!
Yeah.
I love it. So last night we told us Darren Ravel is going to pop by the table here in a second, so we'll welcome him in a minute. But to finish off last night, so I go to the Jay Glazer party, you go to the Mike Epps concert. Babs bails again.
I did fail.
Again on us.
All right,
So
I need
we-
y'all's stories.
We get back at the same time.
Yep.
And so we're sitting in the lobby, and then one of your guys comes up
Yep.
with his girl, and so we're all talking.
Right.
And then we're like, something just ran by. What was that?
Yeah.
It was a mouse.
Yes,
So
it
this
was.
mouse was like running by in the lobby, and so we're all standing up
can't
trying to
even,
get out of the way. Like, what is going on here? So Jimmy Shapiro, who helps us with a lot of guests at Army, Navy, and down here and all this stuff, he's standing there. He just kind of does this little move and then stomps on the mouse.
It's amazing.
Oh my gosh, those things are fast.
Yeah.
Like
they're
you gotta be
fast.
athletic to be able to get
But
one.
it was this like squishing sound, but also a little.
Stop.
But also a little. You know
Stop
what I
it.
mean?
Stop.
And the thing
Why?
gave it its best shot, man. It hung on for about 8 to 10 seconds.
That's what May after he got squished, everybody walked off and May was like, "Hey y'all, he's still alive! Look, man!" My partner started recording it, so we really got to record it too, y'all.
You gonna throw
Y'all
that
wanna
up
put
on
it
the
out? We might
social
put that out.
media?
Let me tell my
How
boy to
about
send
you
it to me.
don't?
Kirby's like, "Did you give it CPR?" No, we just like Shapiro was worried that he had like dead mouse on the bottom of his shoes. Kirby said he's got DNA. That was a hell of a night, Slay.
Forensic. Yeah, it was, man.
I mean,
The night went fast too.
what are you
Here
up
we
to
are.
tonight?
I have a
Anything?
premiere to go to. Bel Air premiere.
Yes.
So I got lucky to get tickets to the Bel Air premiere to see the Fresh Prince. I guess reloaded, rebooted.
Reboot or yeah.
something like
I saw something
on
on
Hulu.
social media today.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, we'll
It
see.
does sound fun. So we're sitting in the LA Convention Center, and this building is number one, it's massive, and so we're in an open conference room area, and there are fewer people by far covering this event, at least in this capacity on Radio Row. Fewer people walking around, very few fans walking around. It's kind of a different experience. So hopefully by next year, this thing will be built back up and everything, and we're looking forward to that. But I am impressed at their ability to keep such a large space so cold.
I
Because
love that.
That's not cheap.
I do feel like it warmed up a little bit right now. But
Think so?
Yeah. But you know what? I'm not. I like it like this because we went to SEC Media Day and you guys told me, man, I'm telling you, like this is subdued right here what we're getting, and it's really chaos. And it felt a little chaotic, especially when the coaches and stuff started arriving. But this right here, I like this. I don't want it much more than this.
Well, it will be. next year.
I said I don't want it much more.
104.5 The Zone on the road at Radio Row in L.A.
He basically just said
moving.
tough.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Deal with it.
Can I do tough Pac-Man? That's going to be our new word for a
Tough
customer.
Pac-Man.
Pac was killing it, man. He'd drop an S-bomb, an F-bomb, and a GD bomb.
They just showed me the video of the mouse. You know, I'm like that poor sweet mouse.
The mouse is gone.
God.
The mouse is gone.
I'm glad I wasn't around there. I'd be.
Look,
I
y'all,
would've
listen,
taken-
if you're
I
on
would've
Zone
taken
TV, you
Jimmy
get to
out.
see it.
I would take the mouse in the bet, like over Jimmy Shapiro's ability to quick twitch a foot down on that thing. Don's looking away.
I don't want to see
Where
it.
was I? Yeah, tune in for the sports talk and get that. Tune in each day as Buck Rising and 3HL broadcast live from Radio Row. That's what we're doing. Tons of very special guests. Exclusive interviews that you won't get anywhere else. Again, I would advise you to go take a listen to our conversation with Adam Pac-Man Jones. He really opened up, man. 1045thezone.com. Check out the podcast section. Our Radio Row coverage brought to you by Ferguson HVAC. Quality products, exceptional service. Two Rivers Ford, powered by Ford, driven by people. A Moment's Peace Salon and Day Spa, Nashville's only full-service salon, day spa, and gift boutique. Located in Cool Springs, USS, United Structural System. With over 25 years of experience, homeowners trust USS. The marketing that goes along with this event, the business aspect of this event. We've got the guy, Darren Ravel, into all of that stuff. Darren, thanks for sitting down, man. How are you?
I'm slowing down, but I'm still good.
Slowing down, but still good.
I mean, like, oh, God. I think you're 19 of 20 interviews today.
Oh,
so.
you're almost. Well, you know, we saved the best for the end.
But
here.
you know what's
Which
good?
city is 20? Does
good
it have
question.
it written down?
No, it actually says just a national interview, Sports Map Radio.
Yeah.
But you know what's good? I can talk about. Let's set it up. What do you want me to talk about? You want to talk about, because everything's gambling these days. You want to talk about NFTs, crypto, memorabilia, gambling, like the metaverse. Well, go ahead. What do you?
Dawn has her hand up.
I just raised my hand.
Okay,
Everybody on
what do you
Zone
want?
TV's gonna. Call me old.
Okay, explain an NFT in 30
Thank you.
seconds.
Crypto,
Okay.
NFT,
Okay, let's see if I can do this. An NFT is a non-fungible token. Now, what does that mean? When something's fungible, it means it's automatically equal to money. I give you $1, you give me 100 cents. If it's non-fungible, it on its surface is not worth anything. So a monkey, a crypto punk, a digital monkey is not worth anything on its face. Now, whether it should be worth $185,000, I don't know. It's not worth. So that's why it's called an NFT. Does that make a little bit of sense?
Yes.
Okay, but people ascribe a value to it, which then says, "Oh, this is the original piece of artwork." I mean, I think a lot of people have a hard time. Listen, I bought $93,000 in digital horses, and my wife, my wife 10 days in was like, "Are you cheating on me?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" She goes, "You never use your iPods or your earpods,
Yeah.
and you use your earpods. You've also been closing the door a lot." And I'm like, "Do you think I cheat on?" She's like, "What are you doing?" She goes, "I heard you were whispering about a stable. What are you talking about?" I'm like, "We're the owners of horses." And she's like, "What are you talking about?" I go, "I bought digital horses." She's like, "Oh, no, you didn't." I'm like, "I did." And you know what's so great about them? You can race them. You can win with them. You could sell them. You could breed them. It really has a lot of practicality. And she goes, "How much did you spend?" I said, $93,000. She goes, "I'm going to divorce you." Okay, so ready for this?
Wow.
10 days later, I sold them for $215,000.
How?
Hold on. We're not done yet.
What?
So this was in May. I got into the horses very early. Just last week, I checked in what my stable would be worth. $5.4 million.
Oh, my God, Darren.
Kicking yourself. Kick yourself.
So I told my wife, "I want the divorce now." Get out of here!
So how do your digital horses become that valuable?
Because I
to
got in
someone?
early, and people. This was the only NFT that I bought because
Okay.
I thought, hey, it's the idea that you could race horses and cheer on horses. It's a whole lot different than a CryptoPunk or there's actual, I thought this was the winner of all the NFTs, and it's one of them. And it's just. I can't talk anymore about it. I am surprised I even brought it up.
It's hurting.
What's
I know it's very hard.
What's another winner of NFTs?
Well, someone's going to be holding the bag in the end. I mean, I think when our world gets back to real life, buying real estate in the virtual world is just not going to be as cool, right? Like yesterday, it's like McDonald's announces that they're going to have virtual Big Macs, and I'm like. And it's so funny to talk. See, you're laughing.
Yeah.
I really enjoy talking about this with a straight face. Like, oh, yes, you can buy virtual real estate. Hey, there's a new NFT out. It's a gorilla, and it produces 10 bananas a day. And you know what's so great about the bananas? You can then sell those bananas, but you don't have to sell the gorilla. And the bananas are worth $42 each on the digital banana market. Like, it is so wild.
See, I'm scared to think it's absurd because
you're the stupid one.
Yes!
You have no bananas.
I have no bananas. And I don't even know what the hell the bananas are, where to get them, or how much they're worth.
And you can't physically hold them. Like, I can't see them.
No, you cannot physically hold them. You might be able to have some sort of projector where a banana will show up in the air, but you cannot physically hold them. See, it's so funny. It's so funny how you're like, hey, that guy's the crazy one, and I'm like, no, you're the crazy one. You're not even touching the bananas. That's your problem. And listen, I'm scared. I am scared. People always talk about, because I do a lot of work with mental health, and people always talk about, well, you do gambling, and it's like, well, like I always show my bankroll. I always show when I lose. I always show when I lose when I get and. It's like sports gambling is the tamest form right now. When you talk about crypto and things going up and down, I was in crypto for 41 days. I looked into it. I put my money in, and I just said, you know what? I can't be a critic without actually observing it. And I was sick from looking at Coinbase every day and being like, what? I went to sleep and I lost $19,000? Like, this isn't the stock. At least the stock market, at 5 o'clock, I could have a dinner and have a drink, and it's over. What? I went to sleep and lost $17,000.
That's crazy. So with all of this talk of kind of the modern stuff, how does it tie into sports, athletes, NFT, or
Well, it's the hottest talk in the locker room.
Right.
The locker room used to be about, I got a piece of a casino, or I got a piece of, and that was it was, or I got a restaurant with my name on it. Now it's all about it's how's Bitcoin doing? Let's check together. Like, I made this much money. Like, it's just it's like the hot thing. And as Shaquille O'Neal once told me, he's like, it's boring, but bonds are good. Why
can I hear him saying that to you?
I make 5.5%. I know it's not good, but it's good when I look at my bank account.
But when players sign NFT deals, and like I remember Luka Garza when this jumped off.
Yeah, he was the first. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because it depends on what your deal is, but the key is that it's all on the blockchain. So, like, what that means is there's a ledger. So anytime it changes hands, you can see who changes hands. And then where the real money is that the producer of the NFT gets a fee every time it changes hands. Right? So that's the new that's where the value is,
so
because they can show yeah.
Without using I've got the digital copy now.
Right. Now people say, okay, but I copied it. Like, people are like, oh, I copied it. Now it's mine. And it's like, okay, the Mickey, you don't own the Mickey Mantle picture on the 1952 Topps card. You own one version of it that happens to be in front of you. So that's the way I explain that when people go, oh, I just took a picture of it. You have the rights to own and sell that one version, but you don't own the photo. That's the way to explain it.
Darren Ravel with us.
And it's okay that I don't talk about the Super Bowl. I think you guys are doing a better service to the greater Nashville area to talk about this stuff.
Well, it's
more practical.
I see you tweet about memorabilia from time to time. Yes. What is your favorite piece of memorabilia that you have come across and that you own?
So I recently got into over the last 2 years collecting tickets. And so PSA, which grades cards, 2 years ago said, we're now going to grade tickets. And for me, the light bulb went off, and I said, oh, my God. Tickets are in shoe boxes, and tickets are on bulletin boards, and people have lost a tremendous amount of tickets because the day never came where they were treated as cards. But tickets are the moments. That's what raises the hair on our bodies, right? So I quietly, as soon as they started, I got my list of 100, and I'm like, I'm going to shut up until I have at least 50, because I don't need to compete with myself here. Yeah. So I got Christian Laettner's turnaround jumper, and I got it signed by Christian.
Oh my gosh!
Okay. That's Don's favorite sports moment of all.
Oh, okay, so I still love Laettner.
Okay.
Look at her.
So here's the thing. So in the 2.5 years, so as PSA started grading the tickets, there are only 7 of those tickets that have been found.
Wow.
So then the value I bought it for $600. I would not sell it for $25,000 today.
Wow.
Because the ticket market really blew up. So I have tickets that are mind-blowing that people are like, what are you talking about? I have a ticket to the first Ferris wheel ever in 1893 when George Ferris decided to George Ferris.
I just snorted. George Ferris.
Here's the wheel, and let's see if we put baskets on it, will it work? I have a ticket to the night that Marilyn Monroe sang "Happy Birthday" to JFK. Wow. A full ticket. There's only 3 tickets of Reggie Miller scoring 8 points in 9 seconds. I have 2 of the 3. I have 4 of the 9 tickets of Rudy sacking the quarterback. So I basically hoarded this market, and then in the last 8 months, this I thought it was coming, and the market's exploded. So someone just paid $264,000 for Michael Jordan's debut. I have one of 2 tickets to Michael Jordan the first time he ever wore Air Jordans.
Oh, that's
which
cool.
is a cultural moment, and I think people who are sneaker collectors kind of crosses over.
Wow.
But nowadays, everywhere I go, they don't give you paper tickets anymore.
And I think that is a negative, right?
I hate that.
It does hurt the market that after a big sports moment happens that you can't go on eBay and find it. Yeah. But I will tell you something. I do believe that teams are going to give season ticket holders and do nice tickets, right? Would you like to pay $500 for a sheet of tickets? And I think as ticket collecting, I think this is a real thing for the future. I think season ticket holders will do that. They understand it won't be for free because they want to get the data. You can't bring them to the stadium because they want to get digital. But I think an overwhelming amount of people want to have something physical in their hand. And if the moment is great, that one moment in a season will make that ticket more valuable than.
But isn't that backwards? When you're talking about the NFTs, you can't hold it, but now all of a sudden you got something valuable.
Well, I like what I'm 43, and I like what I can hold.
I'm with you.
Okay.
Right? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I have a problem with that. I know.
Those damn bananas. Darren Ravel, at Darren Ravel on Twitter, executive producer for Action Network. Maybe next time we'll talk about the Super Bowl.
It's okay.
We just went all in.
I think your listeners are going to say this is the best segment of all Super Bowls.
There you go. It's Darren Ravel. Thank you, Darren. Good to see you, man. All right, 3HL. More next. 104.5 The Zone. in L.A. Coverage presented by Ferguson HVAC. Quality products, exceptional service. Suddenly I went into FM DJ Boys guy. Two Rivers Ford, powered by Ford, driven by people. Moments Peace Salon and Day Spa, Nashville's only full-service salon, day spa, and gift boutique. Located in Cool Springs and USS, United Structural Systems. With over 25 years of experience, homeowners trust USS. From Pete Thamel, Brian Harson News. Boy, Auburn just given to the sports community.
I tell you what, is this really news?
Well, let me read it, and then people can interpret as they wish.
Okay. It's technically, it's actually coming from CeeLo, right?
Yeah, Pete Thamel tweeted it, but yeah, sources tell CeeLo, ESPN, and me, not me, Pete Thamel, that Brian Harson met, the board of directors at Auburn keep calling Dawn. I keep hearing the War Eagle thing ringing on her phone. I just assume that's what it means. Sources tell Chris Lowe and me that Brian Harson met with the officials running the Auburn inquiry on Wednesday upon returning from vacation. I'm glad he's back. The meeting was considered generally benign, and no clarity of next steps were given other than Harson attending SEC meetings Thursday. So the news is there's no news. Am I interpreting that correctly?
No news.
No, the news is they met.
And he did get fired.
But Auburn doesn't have enough to fire with cause at
Right.
this point.
Right.
And
Right.
that's what the news was.
And you know what?
Without saying that that's the news.
Y'all want my comment?
Yes?
Well, hell yes, Slay.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Well, it's a lobby when you enter the building. And there's a little couch I'm sitting on.
Here it comes.
And when I see,
Is this the misery couch?
I'm just saying, man. And when I see company walking across, I just always pat the little seat next to me, and I let them know, hey, it's misery over here, and it loves company. Come have a seat.
Yeah.
Thanks, Auburn. Thanks for having a seat. And don't worry about it. All refreshments on me. Babs, take a load off.
I love your misery on the couch analogy.
I'm just saying, man.
I don't.
Because anybody can walk in the lobby at any time.
Hey, man.
It just happens to be Auburn.
And I'm going to be there.
Yeah.
And guess what? If this keeps up long enough, I'm going to be removed from the couch. And when they walk in there, whoever's next, Auburn, Babs will be sitting right there and telling them, y'all.
You think you're removed from the couch?
I'm not yet.
Tennessee fans, do you think
we
you're
don't know-
removed
No,
from
hell
the
no.
Not
lobby?
yet.
We're
Not
worried
yet.
about the couch just reinventing
yet.
itself into multiple couches at any time.
No, but guess what?
I'm always worried about that.
No, I'm not. Because guess what? Somebody has to take the fall, man. And somebody just keep this seat warm for when the company arrives. I'm just saying.
All right. Well, the company is going to arrive when we come back with the Munozes. Maybe the best Cincinnati Bengal of all time, Anthony Munoz, and then Michael Munoz coming out of high
he's your
school.
guy. He's
The
a former
Vols.
Tennessee guy.
Former Tennessee guy while you were there.
Yep.
He and Ramon might have run into each other a little bit up there, but injuries derailed what would have been a long-time NFL career. I mean, that guy, Michael Munoz, is as talented as anybody at that position at the college level. So we'll visit with them. And then Kix Brooks coming up also in the 5 o'clock hour. Stay tuned, 3HL 104.5 The Zone. Welcome back in 3HL live at Radio Row in Los Angeles. Thanks to Ferguson HVAC, Two Rivers Ford, and a Moment's Peace Salon and Day Spa. Joined now by a couple of really talented offensive linemen. Is that safe to say, Slay, you think?
I would think so. And then a little Vol blood running through one of them. So I think that makes him a little better than the other.
That would be Mike.
I got you, Mike. I
I appreciate that. Yeah, go Vols.
He's already doing the father versus son here, right?
You know who I'm riding with.
All right, that's Michael Munoz. Michael Munoz, a consensus All-American at the University of Tennessee, and his dad, Anthony Munoz, 9-time first-team All-Pro.
So where do you keep the Heisman trophies at Tennessee?
Hey.
Oh,
I haven't seen them. I think
Comes out swinging, guys.
Mike, you didn't tell me to turn around. He had his arm cocked up. Tell me to turn around.
I was just curious. I spent 5 years down there watching Michael play, and I just was looking for him.
Let's start there. As a dad, how special was that to be able to watch your son play at that level of football?
First of all, I tell people, I'll always be a Pac. Well, I started Pac-8, then I finished Pac-10. Now it's Pac. That's how old I am.
Yeah.
I tell people I'll always be a Pac-12 guy,
Yeah.
and I live in Big Ten country, which. Right. But I tell people, I went to every one of his games, home and away, and gonna make you guys feel there is nothing like the SEC football. It's just, and thank God that I played in the NFL, and some people recognize me in Baton Rouge, because I would have been pummeled, but because I had my orange on.
Yeah.
But it was so much fun. Never forget, we went down. If you remember the recruiting game, I'm sitting here, he's sitting here. It's Auburn. And we kick off we kick off to Auburn, and all of a sudden, first play, Auburn's quarterback steps back, throws it out. Deion Grant jumps it, gone.
Yep.
And I couldn't hear myself think.
Yeah.
Michael, after it kind of settled down, Michael leans over and goes, "Dad, wouldn't it be cool to play here?" I knew he was there. But what a great atmosphere.
Having said that, Joe Burrow, obviously, for the Bengals said, no atmosphere in the NFL matches what he played in front of in college. And both you guys experienced that, right? So national guy went, what is he talking about? He's never been to Kansas City, all these things. But it's true.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, to be able to play at Death Valley and just to hear that type of atmosphere – any stadium that he goes into in the NFL, from a sound standpoint, it's not going to be comparable. But he's on the biggest stage, right? That's where the nerves comes in. But when people were saying that, I'm like, I think he's seen some loud stadiums.
It's funny because my junior year we played there. Probably 10,000 less than what they have now, and then I think it was his freshman year I went to watch him play, and it was crazier.
Yeah.
I played so long ago, they still had the dorms in the stadium.
Yeah.
So we played a Saturday night game. Friday night we went to a workout, walkthrough. They had to clear a path from our bus to the locker room. People were there, and we're thinking, "Oh my, are we safe?" And we're from LA. We're like, "Are we safe here?" But it was a great experience, both as a player and then as a dad watching him play there.
Nothing like that. You talked about that Auburn game. This is an Auburn alum,
so that's why I rolled my eyes at y'all, by the way. Yeah.
When you think back on it real quick, though, Mike, what was some of the most difficult places to play? Because I got into a little Twitter war last night after Auburn lost to Arkansas watching basketball, and I named Arkansas, outside of Rocky Top, of course, but Arkansas and Florida was some of the most terrible places to play and loudest places to play. What was it for you?
Yeah, I mean, the swamp definitely would be up there.
Yeah.
Everybody hates you there. It really is a swamp. They're like dragonflies flying around every time.
Yeah.
But, I mean, playing at LSU, I was a true freshman when we played there. Just the teams that they had. I mean, you walk out, there's a live tiger, in a cage.
Yep.
You're like, where am I? So, and just the how loud it gets, with 70, 80,000 folks. Those are two of the stadiums that stick out to me.
One of the great Bengals of all time, Anthony Munoz, with us. His son, Michael Munoz, big star at Tennessee. Anthony, what about this matchup, man? The Bengals and the Super Bowl. What do you think about this?
I like the matchup. Of course, all the talk has been about our offensive line, and of course, pretty good ball player on the other side, Darren Donald. And Von Miller, who's been rejuvenated. And then they got a couple other guys that are pretty good too. So, I mean, and the guys know that. I mean, as a former offensive lineman, I knew in big games you know, people can have a Jamar Chase, they can have a Carl Pickens, they can have a Willie Gault.
Right.
They can, I had to throw this in.
Keep it up, man. Keep it up now.
But if your quarterback can't throw the ball, you can't utilize those. So the guys know they got to be able to pass, protect, and run. And I believe if they don't have to be Superman. I think if they can somewhat contain those guys, I think we have a really good chance because I tell you what, and if Uzama is back playing with Chase, Higgins, Boyd, and Uzama, and then Mixon, I think we have a really legit shot. And then I think our defense. I mean, Stafford's very talented. Kupp has had a crazy year. Now they have OBJ. I like our defensive line against their offensive line, and so I think both offensive lines really have their work cut out for them.
Well, we are in Nashville, so obviously the Titans defense was able to put 9 sacks on Joe Burrow and all of that, and some people are kind of looking similarly defenses at what they're able to do and what the Bengals will see in this game. Obviously, because of that and the pressure Joe Burrow is going to see. Do you see some similarities in what? And now the Titans still lost.
Right.
I mean, the Bengals still won.
Yeah.
So
if the Rams get 10 sacks and we're world champions, we will.
Right.
That won't happen. But no. So here's the thing. And I was at Nashville. And I watched close as I do. 9 sacks, but 3 or 4 were Joe's. I mean, I'm going to say that right. He did something I rarely see him do, and that's hold the ball. Yeah. So I won't expect him to do that. But still, 6 or 7 sacks, that's a lot. This line, much better. So they're going to have to do some things, and hopefully we can run the football. So I think that will help. But, that thing down in Nashville, that was not pretty. And, like I said, 5 or 6 to the offensive line. That's still – and they bounced back against Kansas City, and Kansas City's pretty – I mean, Chris Jones – one of the top guys, and they got some pretty good pass rushers, and we have 1 or 2, and that was it. So this line is capable. I'd say this line is capable of doing that. If you're in the Super Bowl, you're pretty good. I mean, but still, people say, well, Joe Burrow's the most sacked quarterback this year, and I go, yeah, you can't deny that. But, I mean, 9 sacks, and he throws for 359.
That's right.
Yeah.
The
guy's not.
And he was unfazed.
Oh, my goodness.
That, the kid's swagger, what do you guys – what stands out to you about him? I mean, usually you're a second-year quarterback, you're sacked that many times, it is in your head, you're seeing ghosts, you're done, right? Didn't faze him.
Yeah, I mean, growing up as a Bengals fan, right, I feel like through the 90s and the early 2000s, you're watching games and you're thinking, okay, how are they going to lose this game? On the big stage. Yeah. With this team, it's like, when they get behind, what are they going to do to win? Yeah. And I feel like that it factor is what Joe brings to the team. And there's so much chemistry. Yeah. Guys are having fun. The energy level's high. And it's a fun team to watch.
To your point, he gets sacked. Mm-hmm. Something's good going to happen after that. He throws a pick. He's going to come out and they're going to drive 80 yards or he's going to throw.
It's amazing.
It's just, you're right.
For a second-year guy.
It's just unfazed. Yeah. We talk about, left tackles and cornerbacks having that short memory because, if we get beat, you can't think of it because then cornerback, he's out there on an island. But Joe has that. I mean, he just got that where nothing phases him. And he's like that. And I heard he's like that since high school. His high school team only scored 800 and some points.
That's it.
I mean, come on. 400 or 500 in high school, but 800 points. That's
crazy.
But no, and all I hear about him is what a great leader. And you can tell because when you hear the guys talk about him, they are all in. And you can tell when guys are, we've been – but, man, they are just like, this is our guy, this is our leader, and that's the fun thing to watch.
NFL Hall of Famer Anthony Munoz, his son, one of the best offensive linemen to ever play at Tennessee. Michael Munoz, you ever have some scraps with Ramon Foster?
No, I love Ramon.
you were an old head when he was in there.
I was. I was on the way out. Ramon was coming in, and what an amazing guy. What an amazing player. What a career. Class act. Yeah.
Man.
Ramon's great. Wait. What did Ramon say about me? What did Ramon say about me?
Let me go on and put this out here. He told me to make sure you tell Michael, hey, man, with the way you punched me in my chest, you didn't have to do that when I was a freshman. He said I did learn how to punch after that, though. So, he gave props to him. Man.
We're all parents. So I think for each one of us, I think it's a really cool thing to see you guys walking Radio Row together. Tell us about Fatherhood Festival coming up in Canton.
I'll start out and just kind of, and then Michael works up there at the Hall of Fame Village, powered by Johnson Controls. But I'm excited because for someone that grew up just down the road here, never met my dad, never knew my dad, to be able to understand the importance of being a dad, fathering, which is something that we have to address in this country. And to have the Fatherhood Festival in Canton, Ohio, June 17th, 18th, and 19th, the Hall of Fame Village, powered by Johnson Control and Fatherhood Institute. We're going to have a weekend where we're saying, dads, bring your kids, time to engage with the kids, jump into their world. Friday night, having the biggest movie watch at the stadium.
Wow.
Saturday, all day, have activities where they can interact and work together. And then, of course, there's moms involved.
Yeah.
So we're not going to eliminate the moms. They're going to put some tents up. Moms are going to be pampered. Spa, pamper the moms over. But I'm excited because, we're focusing. And you don't have to be associated with any of these groups. Just dads, bring your kids out, jump into the world. We're going to have a lot of interactive activities and something that Michael and the Hall of Fame Village have put together.
Yeah. I mean, my whole life I had a front row seat to him and the experiences that he and his career provided. And, you don't want to take that for granted, but I think it's pretty cool to be able to partner with the Fatherhood Institute and have something that's at the Hall of Fame Village and using football as a context to really create those emotional connections and those experiences with your kids. And so in June we're having a 3-day event. And for more information on partnering and really from ticketing standpoint, you can go to fatherhoodfestival.com. Tickets will go on sale February 14th, but we're really excited.
There you go, fatherhoodfestival.com. Anthony Munoz, Michael Munoz, thank you guys. Appreciate you.
Let me tell you guys something too, though, man. Me and Mike crossed paths. We were in school at the same time. Man, when you used to come on campus, we used to always say, hey, Mike's dad's on campus. Mike's dad's on campus. Man, and I admired you guys, man, this relationship that you guys have. So this is something big, man. I know me and my brothers also, father wasn't really in our life, came back into it later, with doing good with the grandkids and stuff. But this is something that we're gonna try to come up here and visit you guys
awesome.
with, man. That's
awesome.
really dope, man.
Appreciate you guys.
No doubt.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for your time.
It shouldn't be that hard to get $52,000 in cash. Apply online at thehomeloanexpert.com.
That lonesome feeling comes to my door. The whole world turns.
3HL 104.5 The Zone. Dawn is literally doing the viral dance to this song. And she's turning around in her chair. I don't know what's going on here, but did you really not know that had become like a viral TikTok thing?
No, are you shocked?
With Brooks and Dunn, the neon moon. The neon moon. It's like the 405 and the PCH and all that out here.
The 101.
Will say, no, it's not. I'm serious. Yes, they call their interstates the whatever. No, I know.
Seriously, that's how you know when you meet some. Hey, you know we're live, Slay. We're on the air.
Beginners, man.
God,
What up, what up, what up, what up?
See, there it is,
He's-
the energy.
see-
He said he's going to bring the energy.
Yeah.
What up? Yeah. Hey,
Why do they call the interstates the whatever it is?
That's how you know somebody in Nashville is from California when they're like, "Hey, the 840." No.
You just take the 440 down to
The
Pillsbury
440,
Road.
yeah.
You know what? That's the funny thing is that's what it makes you talk like that, so you adapt to it. When I lived out here, that's what I used to say.
It's like Brian Kelly and Cajun Country.
And they call it the highway, and we call it the interstate. When I used to say I'm jumping on the interstate, they never knew what I was talking about.
Like, what are you jumping
when
on?
I'm telling them I'm finna come down Interstate 91. They'll be like, who? Man, I'm talking about the 91. Oh, yeah, man, just come on down. Man, come on, man. Y'all know what I'm talking about. 65.
We're looking for Kix Brooks, who is a friend of the
65.
show and a friend of the station.
Isn't it
and
all the
All
interstate?
of those things, yeah. So do you think at some point we'll have so many people that have moved in from California that will all start calling it the 40?
No.
I'm going to take the 24
No,
East.
no, heck no.
I'm going to say hell no.
Yeah, there you go, Babs. Thank you. Correction. No, ain't no
What
way.
if I start that trend?
No, Mayor.
I'm going to take the 40 West.
No, Mayor.
I will cut you.
No, Mayor. Yeah, slice him up, Babsy. He deserved to be sliced up right now for that.
I will cut
No.
you. What do y'all think? What do y'all think about the DH returning to the National League?
I'm fine with
I'm out
it
on that
from a
conversation.
standpoint. Why are you out on it?
Because I don't know
'cause
nothing
it's
about that
baseball?
part. No, I love baseball. I love the playoffs of baseball. I love when baseball gets to October.
You just don't have an opinion
He
on
said,
the DH.
I love baseball, I think.
I like when it. No, you know what? I'm gonna tell you the truth.
Okay.
Baseball got so many breaks. Like man, you were talking about this last year. Like you can sit there and watch the baseball game, right, Babs?
Mm-hmm.
They throw a pitch.
Mm-hmm.
You get up, go use the bathroom, go to the kitchen, get something to drink, come back, and they just now about to throw the other pitch. You know what I'm saying? Like it's 2 pitches in 5 minutes.
It is a longer.
That's like, come
well,
on,
they've got
y'all.
a clock on it now, Slay. So you know you.
What's the clock? What's the clock? What's the
I
clock?
don't know. It's
What's the clock?
30
25 seconds.
25 seconds. There you go.
Ooh. Okay, so I can only
That's
I can
new,
only
by
so
the
I can
way.
only
They
use the
just
bathroom
started
and come
that.
back. I can only use the bathroom and come back. After
There's
1
nothing better than sitting like on a day baseball game, eating a hot dog and drinking
Now-
a beer. There's
Now, I want all that. I'm talking about sitting at
He's
home.
talking about sitting at home
Yeah, I
watching
can't
it.
do it. Yeah, I
No,
can
so-
go to the game.
To be honest, this is what I do at home as a lifelong baseball fan. I'll turn on a game and then I do stuff around the house.
While you-
I
while
don't
you
just
have it
sit
on in
there
the
and
background.
watch it.
Right.
Now, Will Bowling may sit there and watch his Braves.
does.
He's got a problem.
I'm
Every
not mad. I'm
pitch.
just disappointed. Ron Slay.
About the DH?
Oh, well, that too.
Oh, in Ron
Well,
Slay.
you should
See,
be,
I
you should be
like the-
disappointed in you for
I
sitting
mean-
down watching an entire game and not doing stuff around the house.
I'm going to sound like an old man here.
Papa
but
Bowling, get your son.
I like the strategy that you have to play with in the National
Absolutely.
League with the pitcher coming up at some point.
Absolutely.
Because it changes the decisions you make in different at-bats. So I like that part of it.
So
Now,
you-
as a fan, like you're not paying to watch a pitcher bat, you're paying to watch him pitch. But so I get that, but
I don't
do
care.
like the
I just want a
strategy of
uniform.
I like the
I
strategy
care
of small
either
ball in
way.
National League.
You want them to be
But it has
equal.
to be. See, you're diving into the grittiness of the DH or no DH.
Yeah.
I'm just strictly from afar saying I don't care what it is, but make it uniform, which is what they did.
It's just sad that baseball at this point is all about trying to get new young fans, and it's like the old guy in the high school with a skateboard over his back saying, "How do you do, fellow kids?" Like that's basically baseball. And they think that more home runs and more scoring is going to get like a 25-year-old to watch baseball. And I don't think there's really anything that they can do to get a 25-year-old to watch baseball until they don't come across as an archaic sport. And I say that's as a guy that it's my favorite sport. I don't know. Both leagues are the junior league now because National League would always say the AL is the junior circuit because they don't let the pitchers bat. And now both leagues are the junior circuit, so it's disappointing.
So you are against the change.
I'm kind of neutral.
Chicks dig the long ball, though.
I liked it more than I thought I would. Yeah. I liked it. It's that's an old Braves one.
Yeah, your boys.
I liked it more than I thought I would when they brought it in 2 years ago. So I'm not as against it as I used to be, but the strategy, the double switching, and everything is so much better in the National League.
I
It's just
agree.
more entertaining. And more of the
a
game
chess
matters.
game, yeah.
Like you've got to make a business decision if you're going to take a pitcher out in the fourth inning. Whereas in the American League, you can wait till the fifth or sixth, and I don't know. It's interesting.
There's our baseball coverage.
It'll quicken games up a little bit.
And we can check that box.
This has been talking baseball on 3HL.
There you go.
We do appreciate your insight on
Take
that.
me to the
Bowling.
game.
Right. Well, we'll take you. You know what? Sounds are about to start back up.
I'm with that, and I had a blast last time.
Yeah.
Tennessee plays Vanderbilt in Nashville this year. All 3 games are in
I'll be
Nashville
there.
this year. You and I, we're going to be there.
That's a great place to watch a game.
Here's what we need.
calling
We
the
need,
game?
we need Ron Slay to sit next to the Vandy Whistler.
Oh.
If the Vandy Whistler is going to be there,
finally put it on
Tennessee
play.
needs their version of Hype Man next to them.
And I
We
got
met
picture
him
on.
in person.
I can make that
Yeah,
happen.
I did. We got a picture on.
Oh, Kirby's on it.
I can make that happen.
Yeah, Jeff came to one of our Buffalo Wild Wings shows.
Yep, we got a picture on.
Disgusted.
So, that
I'm
I
I got
said
a
Slay
check.
will make everyone's experience better, not worse.
That's right.
That's the difference. All right, I'm done. Thanks.
Thank you.
PJ
Bill.
says, does it
Thank
really
you for the
matter
confidence.
anymore with the amount of pitching changes that occur? I told you, PJ, we're done. We spent some time on baseball, and there you go. And I hate that because I love it. I love the sport. Will does too. Slade, not so much.
No, I listen.
You like it. It just takes time.
No. I just need to be at the game.
Oh.
If it's not the playoffs, I'm not watching it at home.
You're good in person. You're not good on TV.
At home, during the playoffs, because the energy is different, I'm cool at home. Outside of that, no, sir. I got to be at the game. Because I'll bet on it. Okay. Well, all right.
We're literally like 2 feet apart, and I just stared him down after he said that.
Look at us. Nobody cares about that. All right.
Disappointed.
At 104.5.
Cut it out.
Tennessee outlasted Mississippi State last night
Go Vols.
at the hump.
Tough plate.
Back in your day, it was?
Nah, ain't really. The hump really ain't tough. It's some
They
weird
play good
stuff
at
can
home,
go
though.
on. Yeah, they play good at home.
They were
but it
5-0 in the SEC at home until this
Yep.
game, and 12-1, I think, overall.
They don't scare me. Mississippi State's never scared me. After Eric Dampier, Darrell Wilson, and Dante Jones were gone, I've never been scared of them. But salute to my guys, Tank Hamilton and them. But Mississippi State, they had a good team when I was in school, though.
Right. Well, in terms of this year, like Tennessee obviously going through some stuff with injury, trying to figure out what the rotation is last night. And Huntley Hatfield got to start and had the first 2 baskets.
Right, yeah.
I mean, that's a good sign. He's an athletic kid, too.
Yeah, and I think it's just more so of just knowing who you are, man. You got to be comfortable in yourself in order to thrive in a situation like that, because he's a guy, man, like he early on this season, he was playing the game like he was playing against high school guys, and you're not. You're playing against high-caliber athletes at the highest level outside of college. I mean, outside of the pros, and he wasn't playing that way. So, well, kudos to them. Kudos to the whoever's over. I'm gonna find out who's over the big men.
Yeah,
I know it used to be Rob Lanier.
Yeah,
he
but,
left, right?
Yeah, he's in Georgia State. I gotta find out who's over the big men now. That'd be interesting to see.
Josiah Jordan-James, another monster game, and
with it,
man, it looks like he wants it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, when you're talking about comfortable, he's a guy that's comfortable.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see. You can see it all over on both ends, and outside of the scoring that he's doing, man, this man really is taking on the best guy on the opposite team every time, 1 through 4, especially with Olivier being out now, 1 through 4, man, and then he's strapping up. Like you can see him taking on the challenge. The game we were watching. Gosh, what was the last game? He got the strip. He swiped down at the ball. Texas. When Texas had drove, and we said he swiped down at the ball, and they could have been. That was when the game was sending Texas guy to the free throw line. It could have went either way, but when he swiped down, 9 times out of 10, you're not gonna get that call. So he's a guy, man, that's really taking on the challenge. I love watching Josiah Jordan-James.
The other thing, like from a point guard perspective, so Kennedy Chandler had been struggling from the free throw line, right?
Yep.
Gotten a little bit better, but Ziegler, man, I don't think I've seen him miss a free throw under 5 minutes. Like, that guy is so mentally tough.
Yeah, he shoot a high percentage. And man, listen, it's all going back to that this point in the season, understanding who you are. He understands who he is, and he's bringing exactly what he can bring to the game. That's energy and being able to pick up any lack of what anything that Tennessee is lacking at the time, whether it be scoring or whatever. Man, just like you said, his free throws, man, his three-point ball is falling, and it's the confidence. That's the thing, man. We looked at this team early in the year. I don't mean to go away from the conversation, but early in the year, and you saw this team, and you were like, man, this is a three-point shooting team, man. Are they going to rely on this to carry them through? And then all of a sudden they went through a lull offensively. Then they switched to our calling card as defense. That's what we're going to be. But you never had the offense to come even out to what the defense was doing. Now you're getting both. And, 2 weeks ago, if you asked me, man, I would say this is a team that goes to the NCAA tournament, maybe is out in the first round. Now, the way this team is playing, this team is definitely winning the first 2 rounds and going to Sweet 16 at this rate. Questions?
Don has skeptical face on.
Well, no, Don, let me tell you what Don's doing right now. Don's on that little couch that I left her on a minute ago. And she just saw me walking back by and telling me, hey, your seat's still here. So I'm just going to go back over there and sit down.
Sit down. I bet you got that, right? When you fouled out or when you got taken out of the game and you're walking to the bench?
Yeah, I did.
Did the crowd?
One time.
As soon as you sat down, sit down.
One time.
You saw.
They got me, and I did the seat fake.
You did it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
They
waited on me.
Yes.
Where did you foul out?
What was it? It was either Florida or Arkansas. It was one of the two. I don't know. I remember.
Some of them will do it just when you come out of the game.
Yes, they will.
Like you don't have to necessarily.
So
foul
don't.
out.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I don't. Do you hear them doing that often now?
Not very much. They're
I don't
much
hear it
more
as much.
creative nowadays.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, you're right. We got a little march going on right here. What's this, fan march?
I don't know.
It is. There are fans coming.
You're right. There are fans with all kinds of jerseys representing, and there's a cheese
there's
head.
a cheese head.
With
There's
a mask
got to be
on.
a Titans in there somewhere, right? Oh,
Cheese
is this
head, mask
FanDuel
on.
Sportsbook?
I don't know.
It's alive.
Yeah, Don's been begging us to get to this story, so we need to. Some moves in the NBA.
Oh, let's go to it.
James Harden does get moved.
Yes. Babs did beg for this.
To Philly. So how do you think this changes the outlook for Philly and the Nets? Ben Simmons going to the Nets. There's Seth Curry, too.
I think it adds a different dynamic for Brooklyn and Philly. I think you look at it and you finally get a coach. You look over James Harden's career. When has James Harden had you can say, Hall of Fame coach? And regardless if you like the way he coaches or not, and Doc Rivers, who's at Philly right now. It's going to be interesting to see how
much do coaches matter in the NBA? Like I feel like the players run everything.
Yeah, until the playoffs.
Okay.
Until the playoffs. Like, and you got to have a foundation set going into that. You got to be able to keep the morale up and things of that nature. Once you get in the playoffs, though, it's X's and O's then.
It's such a weird professional league to me now with what it is now.
Yeah.
Because you talk about that James Harden that didn't force or officially request a trade because he didn't want people to, judge him because he did that like a year ago.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And it's so he did without like officially requesting a trade, right? So he didn't officially request it, but he still made it known, and he still got what he wanted. And I just feel like all the players get what they want.
Without question.
Like it is a player. And I'm not saying don't come at me with, well, they're the ones that are playing.
Yeah.
They're
You ain't saying
I
it's a
get
bad
it.
thing
I'm
or
not
anything.
saying,
You're just saying what it is.
I'm just saying it is that. So also at that rate, like how much of coaching is there? And you talk about, okay, it is in the postseason because that's when it's like, hey, scheme, off, whatever, play
Yeah.
a little defense here
Yep.
and there, you know.
Because you start to look at the details of it. Once
Right.
you get to the playoffs, a 7-game series, you need to win 4 of those games, and it's the smallest adjustment that makes you go ahead, and that's not done by the players because mano y mano, you even each other out. But that one sub or
That's
the
so
change in the
true.
lineup, you know what I'm saying? Or
And
it
it's
comes down
game
to
to
out-of-bounds
game.
play. Yeah, and it's game to game.
Yeah.
Out-of-bounds plays and things of that nature. Like, it's different matchups and how you can get to those matchups where it comes down to coaching, especially nowadays when the guys are so young. Everybody don't have a Chris Paul that's a coach on the floor on their team. So gonna be interesting. And then as far as Brooklyn goes, I think it's gonna be good for a guy like Ben Simmons to be able to play as free as he is when you got 2 ultimate scorers on the same team. So
when we come back, there are varying opinions down here about Ryan Tannehill moving forward with Ryan Tannehill. It's really bizarre. Like there's no like safe middle ground. Like guys are either one way or the other. Like and it's kind of interesting. We'll talk about that next. 3HL 104.5 The Zone.
You've got a job to do, and we're here to make sure you get it done right. When you work with Ferguson HVAC, we'll make sure you get the equipment, parts, and supplies you need quickly. That way you can get in, get stocked, and get back to the work that really matters.
things. Do you know what I just found out about one Will Bowling?
What's that?
He has Lane Kiffin blocked on Twitter.
What?
Why?
He's annoying.
He said he's annoying. Did you see what he tweeted today?
The airplane thing?
It was really funny.
Let's race. Showed the Tennessee plane, then showed Lane Kiffin behind him on the runway.
Really?
Yeah.
Lane is crazy.
Now he's got transferred to the SIP shirts made.
Yeah, he doesn't care. He said, "Let's race at Coach Heupel at Vol Football, 1-0." And then, and if you look, it's a
1-0.
picture of the Tennessee plane in front of him, and then he hashtagged it, "No clock stops."
No clock stops.
I
Lane's
mean,
something else, ain't he?
No, like, here's the deal. That's next level trolling.
Speaking of trolling, what about? Yeah, go ahead, Slay.
There's got to be somebody else in charge of his
No, oh no.
He can't pay attention to this stuff that much, man.
He
got to
does.
have something else to do.
He's not right.
Golly.
I'm telling you.
That's crazy, Babs.
He's master troll.
Master troll. Like he's like Yoda
Yep.
That's
Name
wild. to
name
all of
a-
the troll lights that are out there.
Name another head football coach
Oh, there's not one.
like him.
No.
I can't.
I mean, there's not one. Is that who you want at Auburn?
Y'all want
No. No. No.
Boy, that was not convincing.
Couchy.
I just want stability, and you know what? It's the same thing. I forget who I was listening to earlier. Wide receiver, who was it for the Panthers? Who was talking about his
Stephen Baker, the touchdown maker.
No, not him. Who was talking
That dog will bite you.
talking about, you know, what do you want at your quarterback position? Who do you want? Whatever. I just want stability. That's what he said. I just want to know who it is. I just want stability. That's where I think Auburn fans are. Just want stability without people trying to dig up the dirty stuff to get rid of and for cause a coach. Like, just stability.
Slade just got this grin on
Because
his face.
Because this is exactly what he said 2 years ago.
Yes.
Word for word.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Yes. This is.
Sound like Meg Ryan and when Harry Met Sally.
Hey man, it's like Babs just recorded it and then she went back and just hit play. Hey man, that's amazing. But honestly, I never thought that I would see another school go through a dumpster fire. And y'all dumpster ain't even lit.
No, it's just it's gathering dumpster juice right now.
There you go. And it's starting to leak a little bit.
It's flammable.
Did you do that?
No, Hunk did it.
Oh.
Oh.
Right, so
and we'll get to Tannehill in just a second. But speaking of troll moments, what about Zach Mettenberger joining the Alabama staff as an analyst? I read that he just blasted them and talked about how much he hated Alabama.
That's crazy.
Like 3 weeks ago in his podcast.
What?
That's wild, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you used to see him at Losers too?
Yeah. There are documented incidents of Mettenberger at Losers. Documented incidents of issues at Losers for that guy. Here's the deal. Nick Saban knows what he's doing. I just wouldn't pin that guy as a super smart offensive mind to really provide offensive analysis. Is that a nice way of putting?
I mean,
it?
you just blasted the guy.
Man, whatever it is, I'm in the car with you because I kind of agree with you. Like, I'm with you. I'm rolling with you.
Like that guy?
Dude had a hose.
Yes, I'm with
Yeah, but what does
That
that
ain't
have
got
to do
nothing
with
to do-
offensive
There you go.
analysis?
Yeah.
Nothing.
I'm just trying to say nice things.
Why? Because I just blasted him.
You blasted him in
I
a very
actually thought
like a very southern way.
It was like bless your sweetheart,
Yes.
Zachary Mettenberger.
Like a lot of people wouldn't even notice that you blasted him. You did it so well.
It's usually not my style either.
No, you usually go right at it. Like me several times during breaks today.
Jimmy White is just roaming, boy.
Is he?
Yeah.
He's got 2 pencils, 2 turntables, and a
I
microphone.
gotta put that picture out of him with his pencils sticking out of his head.
So, like, Ryan Tannehill is a talking point down here. Just people just talking amongst people, right? And the opinions on him vary. there are a lot of people that think he's plateaued and he's done, and he is what he is, and now he's going on the other side of the hill, kind of like Kirby in Minneapolis. Remember when he tried he got the box from the front desk, and they plow all the snow into these giant mountains in the parking lot. So Kirby thought it'd be great after a night of drinking to go up there and sled down it on this box. So the women in the lobby understood the liability involved, but they thought the humorous elements to what could possibly happen outweighed any kind of liability exchange. So they give Kirby the box. He goes up to the top of the hill. You know what he does? He falls off the other side of the hill. That's where Ryan Tannehill is. Ryan Tannehill is on the top of a snow-plowed mountain of snow, and he's sliding down the other side. That's according to a lot of people. Now, Warren Moon, we talked with yesterday after the show, and guys, he thinks that Ryan Tannehill will be fine. He said, he's still got the arm talent, he's still got the legs. There was some disconnect there. He pointed to all the pieces that were missing from time to time, game to game, throughout the course of the year, and said, from a quarterback perspective, you want that consistency. You want to have that, and he didn't have it.
I was actually surprised by how much he went in on believing that Tannehill's still good.
Yeah.
And I say still good in a casual way. I'm not saying still good at football.
Right.
I'm saying he feels like he can be the guy to still get the job
Right.
done.
And look, Warren Moon's not just some guy watching football on
no.
television. Like, he is a quarterback evaluator, and he works with quarterbacks.
Yes.
So, I thought his point was interesting on that.
It's interesting to me how many former players really believe in Tannehill too. I mean, like, all the former players that we talked to Marshall Faulk, Warren Moon, the list goes on and on. I'm going blank right now, but all of them to a man have said that, like, he can go get the job done. Like, when you hearing Ryan Clark and those guys talk about him on this podcast, The Pivot, like, all of them say the same thing. So this is interesting. He got help coming in.
Well, we talked with Trey Wingo today to book him for tomorrow, and we asked him about Ryan Tannehill, and boy, he's got some pointed things to say.
National media perspective.
He's on one side.
Yeah, so
I think
hopefully we'll get that out of him on mic,
We
tomorrow.
have to.
Yeah. Coming up tomorrow, Sam Acho, Kevin Harlan, I think is the best radio play-by-play guy right now, nationally speaking. Trey Wingo, Greg Cosell, Mike Haynes, among others. That's coming up tomorrow. We appreciate our friends at Ferguson.
Show.
Yeah, Ferguson HVAC, Two Rivers Ford, Moments Peace Salon and Day Spa, and USS, United Structural Systems, for helping us be here. Will Bowling, great job. Kirby, great job. Don Davenport, great job. Ron Slay, great job.
Day 2 is in the books.
Joe Hunk back at the world-famous Music Row.
Hunk had a day today.
Hunk earned his money with the dump button today.
Pac-Man Jones was on the show. You need to go hear that podcast for sure. And, hopefully Hunk got them all.
Hunk maybe he can dunk.
The Hunk
There
dunk.
were 5 total, counting the SEAL Team 6 as well.
Oh, SEAL Team 6 went one, too.
I had a question for them.
10.
I forgot to ask them, man.
All right, well, maybe you can ask them tomorrow.
Okay.
Back at it. Love y'all. Have a great night. Be careful out there.
See ya.